Hi. So this is a continuation of my series on what's required to unlock the full potential of your ERP. And I'm now going to talk about the psychology of ERP, human behavior, engineering human behavior to achieve exceptional outcomes. And the key thing to understand about ERP, people, is it has almost nothing to do with technology. I keep seeing posts which say it's not about the technology. And the reality is that it's so much not about the technology that one wonders why we have to keep saying it's not about the technology, because it's about people. And I'm going to just evidence that in the next few minutes. So my ERP accelerator, which is really coming together in this presentation, is effectively an organizational engineering methodology. It's about managing things so that people behave in a particular way, and we'll go through all of that in the next few slides. And it's important to understand that software does not behave unpredictably. Software is absolutely predictable. You do a certain thing, it'll do that thing. It'll do whatever you tell it to do. It's the people who behave apparently unpredictably, but actually they behave predictably because the psychology of people is well known. It's just not correlated into the ERP space. And that's what I'm seeking to do with this presentation, and what I'm aiming to do in the posts that follow over the next week or two. So in a sense, every component of the ERP accelerator is a psychological countermeasure, starting with diagnose, and then executive custody, and then strategic alignment, and then decision, precision configuration, and prove it works, make it works, and thrive. They're all about getting people to do things that are constructive and helpful. So if we look at diagnose and to an extent executive custody, what diagnose is doing, it's taking us through a journey of systematically examining the health of your present ERP and asking critical questions in terms of how that can be improved without replacing it. And that leads on then concurrently to executive custody, where we're saying that the only person who can be the custodian of this ERP, and I stress custodian as in responsible, accountable, this is my project, is the chief executive, managing director, founder. And then everything flows from that. If you don't get the leadership flowing from the CEO, it's not going to work. It's a critical piece of psychology. And then strategic alignment in the decision stage. So strategic alignment, what is it that drives this business? How is this business successful? What is the essence, the strategic essence that causes it to thrive? How do we nurture that, encapsulate it, support it, reinforce it, build on it? And then decision, going through a process of getting clear in our heads whether there really is a case for replacement, because my contention is that if you get rid of all the other stuff, most of the time you can fix what you've got and elaborate on it, and maybe invest, and not maybe, and invest a bit in it rather than killing it all. In the precision configuration and the business systems laboratory, precision configuration is about setting up the system in such a way that it makes such perfect sense that it's easy to use, it's powerful to use, reporting is easy, and so forth. Business systems laboratory is about an environment where you test that. And then make it work, go live, certification, and thrive. Again, the certificate is about getting something to shift in somebody's head to say, hang on, am I confident that everything's right? And thrive is about driving that through. So what I'm saying is engineer the environment, not the individual. And everything that I'm talking about is creating an environment where failure is eliminated and therefore you achieve success. Because as I keep saying, engineers don't design bridges to stand up, they design them not to fall down. And we should design ERP projects not to fall down, not to fail. Because if we have a well-considered, well-conceptualized ERP project and it doesn't fail, it will succeed. And then the organizational environment, which shapes all behavior. If you have toxic relationships at any element of your organization, it's going to leak into your ERP project. If there's strong leadership, strong visionary leadership, and everybody knows where they're going, the whole project becomes easier. And then and make the point that technology is deterministic, people are probabilistic. Technology, you know exactly what it's going to do. And in a sense, people are deterministic as well if you understand the psychology. If you don't have leadership, people will go all over the place. If there's not decisive decision making from the top, there's not going to be decisive decision making anywhere on the project. So why does the ERP accelerator work? It's about engineering behavior, human behavior and conduct to achieve exceptional outcomes. So in conclusion, the greatest opportunity in ERP has always been the people. Stop talking about the technology. The technology is a given. Any group of people who knows the technology reasonably well can make the technology work. The thing is, can you get the people to provide the inputs to make the technology work? And that's the key. So this is a key part of the critical human foundation of my accelerator, the psychology of how this all works. And if you've got questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll answer them. And then to learn more about the ERP accelerator, sign up for my free 90-minute briefing. Link in the comments below. I hope you found this worthwhile and I look forward to meeting you on the briefing. Thanks so much. Bye.